In this video, I'm going to work with some green screen footage that I've taken. And we're going to look at what you can do with video compositing in After Effects. So first of all, the usual, go to new composition. Let's drag this up here again. Blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to stick with the 128720 just so my computer deals with it really well. Click on OK. Okay, let's just go in there like that. So in the past we've been working with vector graphics, so now we're going to work with some video. So I'm going to go to File, Import File. Let's go to my videos. So this is some footage I've shot with a kind of improvised green screen. So this is filmed during the COVID lockdown, so I've not got any lights or anything, but hopefully it's going to be good enough to do what I want. So I'm just going to select this one video here for the time being and go to import. And now in my project window, I've got this video file. So I'm just going to pick this file up, hold down the mouse button and drag it into the timeline. So now I've got my video file in there. And this blue bar denotes its length, and it'll just play through it like so. So press play. There you go. As you can see, it's in a higher resolution than the image on the composition, sorry. So if I wanted to scale that, I can click on the little arrow here and go into its transform commands. Its transform parameters, and here we have scale. I click and drag and I can resize that. You can also, if you right click on it, go to time, sorry, not time, transform even, and then fit to comp here, and that will automatically size it to the composition settings. So one of the things you can do without even getting into green screen is to create masks. And unlike working with masks in Premiere that you'll probably be familiar with, a mask can be any kind of shape you want it to be, and you can have multiple masks on a video piece. So I want to kind of get rid of this, my arm here. So if you notice down at the bottom here, or the bottom of the composition window, I've got the resolution set to quarter. So that's just to aid playback. If I put it back up to full and we press play now, you'll notice it'll plays back. Oh no, it plays back okay. But sometimes what you might want to do when you're working on something, if it's really chugging along, is to click on the resolution and just step it down a bit. But I want to go in and create a mask around this bit of my t-shirt. So with the video layer selected on here, then I'm going to go to the pen tool, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to zoom out a bit so I can start off screen, and I can start putting points in around here because I just want to get rid of all that. And like so. Now the bit I've masked off is the bit that I don't want. So what we can do is invert that mask. So if we go to the mask parameters here and just slip that down like that, and then on mask 1 here we've got a little box that says inverted. If we select that, sorry, that's my cats. Yeah, they're kind of mantling around in the background. Anyway, just try and ignore that. So let's have a look. Let's go for it. So I'm just reviewing the footage and seeing how the mask is working. You can actually animate the mask, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring it forwards a bit. So you can, once you've created it, you can alter it. So I'm going to go in and I'm just going to drag these up like so. Let's see what that's like now. There's just this bit up here. Drag that in a bit there. Okay. Oh, there's a bit of slippage. Alright, so we got a mask. Next, I'm going to use the green screen to isolate the arm further. So I'm going to go to Effect. Oh, make sure I've got my layer selected. Go to Effect and select Keying. And this is all the different types of keying effects we have. Now, the one I'm going to use is Key Light 1.2 because this is like a kind of magic bullet. And it'll get rid of all this green. So I'm going to click on the pipette, which is the color select tool, on the parameters that the parameter that says screen color. I'm going to click on that, and hey presto, it's gone. Now the black that we're seeing here isn't black, it's transparent. This is the alpha channel. I'll demonstrate what's going on here. So if I go to layer and create a new solid layer, let's give that color sort of blue. Let's drag that a bit. Okay. Yeah, and I drag that to the bottom. You'll see this kind of muckiness here. You see, that's the. I need to adjust the gain of the screen of the key light a bit more. So where it says screen gain, I want to increase that so I get rid of all the stuff in the background. Obviously, if I take it up too much, it'll start to affect the parts of the image that I don't want. If I zoom in now, you can see the kind of fringing that's occurring. Obviously, the better your lighting is, you can avoid that entirely. So I can adjust this edge by going into the where's it gone? Screen matte. Okay. So with this, with the shrink and grow, so I can shrink it in, expand it out. So what I want to do is avoid this fringing. So I'm gonna take it in a bit more, just a little bit, by a few pixels. I'm going to increase the screen softness, not that much though, just a little bit more, and then shrink it back a little bit more. There we go, that's probably as good as I can get it. So this was just filmed in natural light, and I don't think I've managed to avoid too many shadows on the background, so yeah, it looks pretty good. So if I take away the blue background, you'll see that it's, you know, it's transparent. So what I could start doing with this is, and what I'm going to do with it is, I'm going to pre-compose it and then layer up different versions of this arm. So if I create a new composition, okay, so I've got composition 1 and composition 2, and I go to my project, then I've got comp 1 here. Oh, so I'm going to rename that one by right clicking on it. Let's call it arm 1, and then I can drag that and it comes straight in with the effect on it. If I want to then adjust that, I can go back into arm 1 composition and adjust it. So for instance, if I add in the color effect to this, so if I go to color correction and go to tritone, so what tritone will do is just separate, well, recolor the image in a 3 color range. So I'm going to change the middle color to a kind of pale greeny blue. Let's move it more into the blue, more into the grey. Okay, so if I go into that now, you can see it's changed the colour of the arm in the second composition. What I'm going to do now is duplicate this arm layer by Control and D, so I've got 2 versions of it now. I'm going to select the top version, I can move it around. So what I could do on the timeline here, I could move this to another position. Let's say over here. Let's sort of join up there. And then I've got two different arms. What I'm going to do is do that thing. So I'm going to step it down to maybe a quarter is a bit too much. A third, and then do a third the size. And see what that looks like. Just so I can get an idea of the playback. Obviously, the more video layers you have, the slower it's going to be. So let's duplicate it again. Obviously, I can start transforming it now. So let's move this here. Let's rotate it a bit. Let's adjust the scale of it. Stick it there. I'm going to put it at the back. Let's rotate it some more. Obviously, all these parameters I'm kind of mucking around with that can be animated. So let's stick that there. Let's change the time on it. So let's move it on some more forwards. Oh, it disappears completely there. I don't understand. Oh, it's just rendering it in. I'm going to take it back to, let's see, somewhere like, yeah, that looks good. Let's move it up a bit to here. Another thing we can do with footage once it's in, so if I duplicate that again and I right click on it here, I can go to time, and here's some simple time effects, but one thing I can do to sort of make it different would be to go to time reverse layer, and so that's going to play backwards now. Let's just move this up here. Oh, I can't find it now. Where's it gone? If you ever kind of lose your way and you can't work out what's going on, you can see this little eye icon. You can click on that and get rid of them. So now I'm on that layer, backwards layer. Oh, I know why I can't see it. It's because the footage is only in the is been reversed. So I need to take it all the way over here. There we go. Now we're back in business. Okay, I'll turn those all back on again. Let's transform it. Let's go to rotation. Let's go to scale. Let's make it real small. Let's stick it up there. Let's put it somewhere like that. Let's see what that's going to look like. I'm just going to move the work area to a small section. Move it in like that. 5 seconds or so, and then I'm going to take up the resolution to half and then set that to 50%. No, I set it up to 100 and set it to full. Change my mind. Okay, and then I'm going to preview that just to see what it kind of looks like. So that's it running in real time now.